come like September, I was like, oh shit.
You said come.
It's recording, right?
Thinking about all that top dick. Oh, this food's making me nauseous.
This week on Funhaus, we begin our special 3-part series dedicated to the most sensual, most original film trilogy of all time. This is 50 Shades of Funhaus.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wow.
You good? All right.
Oh man, I'm so wet.
Hey there. Welcome to a very special 3-part series of Funhaus.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Adam Kovic. I'm joined by John Smith.
Howdy, everyone.
And Bones, the master of bones.
Hey, everybody. This is how they talk in this movie. So this is how we're going to talk.
We're very excited to bring you a very special dinner and a movie based series about the 50 Shades of Grey franchise, in which we'll be discussing each movie in great detail.
Yeah.
But before we get there, I'd like to thank our sponsor for sponsoring this episode. What's their name? What's the name of this sponsor? That's it. I'd like to thank our sponsor, forhims.com, for sponsoring this episode.
For Hims?
For him.
We'll get to the sponsor later, and I will say this. There's never been a more appropriate sponsor for a show than this series, and we didn't even work it out that way. The timing's just perfect, much like the upcoming film 50 Shades Freed, which we're building up to. We wanted to make sure we had a beautiful Italian dinner to fill up on pasta and cheese.
Let me tell you, I wasn't excited for this upcoming film, 50 Shades Freed, but now I'm very excited for it.
I need to know what happens. We literally moments ago finished 50 Shades of Grey, the first installment, the 2015 hit film. Shit, we didn't print out the notes, did we?
Notes? My pussy's so wet right now.
John also had 4 Jägermeisters.
I had like a triple Jaeger bomb and like 4 shots of vodka.
Yeah, John's feeling pretty good right now. Oh, he's back.
We took notes on the film.
They're copious notes.
You were writing notes during the movie.
Say
that was just for your own.
I lost the notebook.
That's fine.
You guys got to pick your adjectives carefully.
Okay.
On this one.
I did one of my opening scenes, first few shots. His name is Dorian Gray.
Right.
And he wears gray.
No, it's not. It's Christian.
It's Christian. Yeah. His name is Christian Grey.
So the story is about a young girl, Anastasia Steele, who, through no fault of her own, falls into the grip of a man named Christian Grey, a multi-billionaire
27-year-old.
Yeah, who apparently does nothing.
I guess a little bit of backstory. I mean, I think 50 Shades of Grey has always been the punchline to a joke.
Yeah.
And it's a big reason why I've kind of stayed away from it. But now I'm like, okay, I'll go in with an open mind. It definitely reads like fan fiction because from my understanding, it was based on Twilight fan fiction.
Which, if you look in the notes there,
notes.
All the original stories were published on like a forum, like a Twilight forum, a fan fiction Twilight forum, where I think the quote from the person who wrote a book on fan fiction said that hundreds of thousands of women were writing these stories, and she was the one that, because she was so raunchy with what she was writing, it got banned from the forum, so she decided to release an ebook instead.
This is like a much sadder version of The Martian, which was a book written kind of just for fun. Like a guy was like, I'm just going to put it as an ebook. Or I think he put on people like, if you make this an ebook, I will buy it. And he was like, shit, cool, okay. This is just like sad because it reads like what a 15-year-old thinks sex is.
Yeah, why didn't all that raunchy stuff make it into the movie? The movie wasn't even that raunchy.
Didn't you see all the whips?
No, all I saw was top dick.
Anyway, so let's cut through the story. Enter our main character, Anastasia Steele, who has to go perform an interview with Mr. Grey because her friend is sick.
Yeah,
she can't do the interview.
Her 45-year-old friend.
Yeah,
it's like
who's also in college.
It's my college roommate who is very old.
Yeah.
This is a weird thing that happens in movies. For some reason, they cast an old-looking blonde woman. It's odd. There's a weird age gap there. Anyway, so she does the interview, and she is just smitten. Yeah. My God, this man, he's everything.
He speaks so slowly and so quietly and says nothing of value.
Yeah.
She loves it. Eats it up.
He's the best.
Well, no, I mean, what didn't he say was? Oh wait, that must have been later. Was you don't want anything to do with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, he thinks he's Batman or something.
We use this movie more as like a teaching tool for John.
Yeah, for my Tinder profile.
For his Tinder profile.
Yeah, you want to know why you're not striking out?
Yeah,
striking
I'm not.
You're not gray enough.
I'm not being mean enough.
Anyway, there's some great questions in there in the interview, like, "Are you gay?" And I notice you do a lot of work with Africa, and it's like, I don't want to talk about that. Please, like, it's just, it's like. The guy, he wrote the book about himself, and it's all like humble bragging about how great. It's just, it sounds like female pornography of like, oh, he has a dark side. He wants to help people. So clearly, he's a tortured individual. We don't know this yet, so we have to move ahead a little bit. So now he has become smitten with her.
Yeah,
for no reason at all.
I would say, I guess, the flaws of Twilight carry over into this film.
Yeah.
Or the Twilight franchise, which is. Bella is a empty husk of a human, and you could paint whatever face you want on that and go, that could be me. It could be anybody.
Isn't that why it works though?
Yeah.
That
absolutely.
There's zero personality at all, so anyone can just fill that void with their sexy brain.
Yeah, and this character Anastasia Still is played by the daughter of Melanie Griffith and Don Johnson, Dakota Johnson, who is just a wonderful bag of nothing.
Which, interesting factoid about this movie, it's actually directed by her uncle.
Not true.
So the sex scenes
it's a woman that directed
really
it,
weird.
actually.
Well, the director's last name is Johnson, I'm pretty
what
sure.
was
which is
the director's first name? Pretty sure it's a woman's name because it's a woman.
How much research did you do? This is just like
what is on your paper?
Most of my week, I was supposed to be editing a video. I spent most of my week just watching.
I want to break down the story real hard.
Okay.
Real quick, I guess we'll give you
story?
Hard?
I guess we'll get to that later. I've never seen a movie like this where it's so devoid of conflict. I think the only movie with less conflict is Chef, but that at least made me feel good.
Speaking of Chef, this sausage penne is pretty
Is that
delightful.
our sponsor?
No, it's For Hims.
Oof.
Which is a much better sponsor. We'll get to that later. It's, like I said, much more appropriate. The food here is sexy, much like 50 Shades of Grey. And how
making me dizzy.
Anyway, so
speaking of sausage,
let's get to it. So in this production budget of a film that had $40 million somehow, which consists mostly, it's actually not shot terribly.
It's all those airplane rides.
The cinematography was unforgettable.
I mean, I would say the biggest issue with the movie is flat characters, flat story. So the core, the core is bad. I can't
enough.
I can't fault someone with the body they're born with. So that's not my.
I wasn't doing that.
You know, he taught her in the movie not to be ashamed of her body, so maybe you shouldn't be ashamed of her.
I wasn't.
Did he teach that?
Yeah, he said it once.
Oh, okay.
I was talking about Dorian Gray.
Dorian Gray or Christian Gray?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same.
He wasn't buff enough. I thought he could have had some larger pecs.
I liked that he was like a normal dude, sort of. He's a businessman.
Still had abs.
Yeah, you got to take it off from the back.
Yeah.
So Christian Grey becomes smitten with Anastasia. He can't stop staring at her. It's like he like follows her into work. She works at a hardware store, and he's
gross.
He's buying rope, and she's like, "Wow, you got all the makings of a serial killer." And he's like, "Not today," and just stares.
Just fucking stars in her eyes.
Yeah, she's like, "Wow, I'm so nothing." It's great. So,
well, and then her friend came up and like rubbed her shoulders and was like, "Is everything okay here?"
Oh, that's another part of this movie we'll get through. There is like this is very Twilight, where it's like the most nothing person, but everyone's like, God, I want to hit that.
Everyone's in love with her.
Piece of void. So bad. So yeah, it's Mr. Gray is constantly running into her where she's around like her photography buddy or the hardware guy who like these are all like male models, but
buff, handsome dudes.
Yeah, just different parts of the Sears catalog. So it's like you got the non-intrusive white guy or the Latino guy, Jose. But so anyway, you have these jealousy angles, but they're wiped out immediately.
Yeah,
because it's all Mr. Gray after this part. So she's upset with him because they go for coffee, and then he's like, "This isn't working." Like immediately, it's not really clear. She says something about "I was adopted," or he says "I was adopted." And he's like, "I can't talk,"
And then, he runs and then immediately sends her books.
Yeah, he sends her just to prove what a great character Anastasia. She reads. She loves to read Jane Austen.
The smart one.
She likes Mark Twain. So he sends her some first edition books, and her friend's like, "What are these?" And
these have words in them or something.
These are first editions, which is something you write about when you read about what a first edition is,
yeah.
or you see it in another movie and you think a first edition is actually important.
I thought that was exclusive to Pokemon cards, so like
that would have made more sense for her age range. But regardless, so she goes out and parties because, hey, it's graduation day. We're done with schools. Finals over, baby. And she goes out and drinks, and she sort of like drunk dials.
She has like one shot.
Yeah, she takes a shot, rings someone, and then throws up on the sidewalk.
It's pretty great. So she calls Christian Grey, Mr. Grey, and she's like, you got to decide. You want me or not? He's like, have you been drinking? Where are you? I'll come. He's like,
you need to stop drinking right now.
It's like, in any other world, this one, that's obsessive compulsive behavior of a like creepy try-hard boyfriend. But in this movie, he's like sort of flaunted as like, isn't this lovely?
Yeah, he just helicopters in every time she has a sip of alcohol.
Well, then he was like, where are you? What bar? Because she's like, I'm nowhere near you right now. Because she lives in Oregon. He's in Seattle. He's like, I'm on my way. I know where you are. It's like, never explained. Just kind of creepy.
Yeah.
I think he just sort of like NSA's her phone. And so now we fast forward to where she's outside the club. And she's like, oh God, what's going on? I'm so drunk. I'm dizzy. Once again, off of like a shot. Yeah. And then her photographer friend, Jose, comes out.
Oh, the cute brown boy.
Yeah. They like hug and they sort of like side kiss. And you're like, oh, what's going on there? And then he's kind of drunk and he does the thing where he's like, I got to do this. Like, I like you. And she's like, you do? Oh my God. It's like, it's just dick is being thrown at her left and right. She's like, what do I do with all this dick? And then he's like, I just want to kiss you. And then Christian Grey runs in and goes, dude, she said no. And then he throws Jose aside.
That's a direct quote. He says, dude. And then he shoves him and he goes, she said no.
Yeah, billionaire from Mount Olympus comes down to deal.
He actually rode in on a snowboard in that episode.
And he just shoves the one person of color in the movie to the ground.
And then Jose is gone.
Yeah.
That was it.
Disappeared.
He evaporates.
Well, it's a funny setup because... Evaporates.
Yeah.
They set up this character of like, oh, childhood friend, been there all along, and then he tries to make a move on her. Dude from nowhere, 6'2" white dude, pushes guy out of the way, and he's like, I'm out.
Yeah, take it easy.
Like, I guess maybe he was just trying to get in her pants, so maybe he's the bad guy. I don't know.
Well, his name was Jose.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I imagine the only heroes in this film in this author's eyes are the Caucasian descendants. Because Christ Almighty. Anyway, that has nothing to do with the movie.
All right.
It's by white people for white people.
White women specifically.
Then what happened, Adam?
Oh God. Anyway, so we fast forward to the hotel where she wakes up. She's like, "Did we sleep together?" And he's like, "No. I'm a gentleman." She's like, "But you changed my clothes." He's like, "I had to." It's how it goes. But he comes in perfectly right after a workout. Everything's timed perfectly, and he does that move where he pulls
he's all
his shirt
breathy.
Up. Yeah.
Well, no, that was the thing. He's like, I had to. I didn't really have much choice. Your clothes are covered in vomit. And then he grabs his shirt and like derobes.
Yeah.
And then hops up onto the bed and then eats her toast out of her hand.
Like just like a little tiger man.
Yeah.
And he's like, I would just rip you at the shreds. And then like, and he's like, I'm gonna go take a shower.
Yeah, that's a hot strap for you kids out there. Do the behind the back shirt removal.
Yeah, also have abs.
It works. Yeah, that too. It works every time.
Be like ripped, like really ripped and rich.
Yeah.
And white.
That helps. So I get lost at this part. I forget. But now
I think this is when the food arrives.
Well, we hit the 30-minute mark. So now they're making out in the elevator.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, it's getting real. And she's like, I want more out of this relationship. I get fuzzy around this part. What happened? Because it just becomes like a montage of.
Well, keep in mind we've been talking about this for a good 20 minutes and we haven't seen anything. There's been no sex to speak of at this point.
There was a contract.
Yeah,
well,
really.
This
movie's about the contract negotiation more than anything.
Well, no, it's because he's like, I want you to sign this contract, and it's going to be based on like things that you liked and didn't like in the bedroom. And she's like, What do you mean in the bedroom?
Oh yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. She's a virgin.
What? Which he finds out at the same time as we do,
Yeah.
because she's whatever 18 years old or.
And then he decides, well, I'm gonna bang you sensually for the first time, and then
Just to give you a
everything
taste.
after that is we're gonna go back to the sub-dom thing.
Yeah. Well, he explains to her what a sub and a dom is, and it gets not into great detail, but it's sort of like they read the wiki, I guess. They have an idea. And she like Googles it. He's like, I want you to Google submissive. And she looks it up and it's like someone tied up in leather. She does the thing where she closes her laptop like, ah!
Like it's gonna come out and get her. Yeah.
Because she's an idiot. But it starts to get a little. Just to preface it for all you out there, if you've ever seen a sliver of pornography, you've seen more than this movie
you're
has
gonna be
anything to
bored out of
offer.
your mind.
It is. I would watch softcore pornography on Cinemax. That was better than this.
Oh yeah, this is mid '90s Cinemax all the way.
That's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
Those fuzzy channels.
Well, not even the fuzzy channels. Like when you got Showtime for a weekend where they're like, just try it out for free. And then like 3 a.m. you're like, there's some crazy plot you don't care about. Then you see an ass. And you're like, yes, I finished. You didn't really finish. You just kind of humped the couch a little bit in hope whatever that white goo comes out of you. But regardless, the movie, this is I feel like where the movie loses me, because the first half hour is like, this is kind of interesting.
So intriguing.
Well, it wasn't intriguing, but I'm like, there's some semblance of a movie here. But the problem is there's no conflict. There's really no drive, and the characters have nothing to lose. So
the conflict is, do I want to be spanked?
No, but they're inconsistent too, because like he'll say he can't be romantic, but then he's romantic the entire movie. She says she doesn't know if she wants to do it, but she does all that weird sub stuff.
Wait, are you saying that this movie has flaws?
There might be one or two.
I also would like to reiterate that the romantic angle is personified in flying vehicles.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Those are the like there's a part where he gives her like a blimp or like a little balloon, but it's like of a helicopter because he put her in a helicopter earlier. And then there's later they get in a plane, and then he gives her like a toy plane.
Yeah,
it's just like,
you're right.
He's a child.
Do you like twains?
We're joking that by the end of the movie he has to pull in like a 1930s Zeppelin.
Outside her window. I love you.
And there's another part too that I forgot. The whole movie does take place in Seattle, or at least the Pacific Northwest,
Vancouver Island,
which is perfect. Because any time she has like a run-in with him, it's personified by rain, which means she's wet.
Yeah, well, I mean, she also like grabs
up.
her vag and it's just like, ah!
There's so
every
many
time it rains.
There's so many great moments. He straps. There's a lot of like telltale signs that you're dating a serial killer. Like he puts her in the helicopter and he straps her in. And she's like, oh my, and he's like, no escaping now.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is I only know that guy from The Fall,
which is what?
It's a Netflix series starring Gillian Anderson, where she's like a detective trying to find this guy who's a serial killer. And so every time like he was strapping her in or something, I was just having flashbacks to him like slaughtering women. So it was a little, it was a very strange kind of.
It is sort of like the Ted Bundy story that never happened.
Yeah,
we're like, what if he was successful and a nice guy instead of
good looking,
wearing women's heads to sleep? You know, it's. But anyway, so as the story progresses, we learn a few things about our main character. I don't know who's the main character in this movie. It's hard to tell.
I don't know. He has one cigarette burn on his chest, and apparently that's like all the conflict.
Well, we
don't know.
It was hard to see because it was like a little dark spot, and he was like, "Don't touch, bad. don't touch, Mr. Gray." We get a little backstory where he's trying to explain to her why the sub-dom thing works for him, and he sort of explains that he was like raped and molested as a child, and that's why it's cool. And she's like, "Wait a minute, what?" And he's like, "Yeah, when I was like a 15-year-old, my mother's friend took me in as her sub, and that's why it's cool." And they're like, "Yeah, this movie really glosses over the dark side." You were
assaulted, bro.
Yeah, that's child abuse, and that's why a lot of people they turn out as fucked up adults because they had fucked up childhoods. And he's sort of like, "No, it's cool. I'm like a CEO or something."
I mean, as he said, I'm 50 Shades of fucked up. And then she
nailed it. Yeah,
do it again.
That's something I noticed. Like she orgasms like every time he touches her with a peacock feather, or even like breathes on her funny. Like she fucking orgasms all over the place. Like it wasn't. it was overkill. It was too much.
I mean, in the very beginning of the movie, when the first time she made like a sexy face was he said something negative. I don't remember what it was. But he said something like, I'm unavailable, or like I don't have a heart.
Yeah, stay away. I'm no good for you.
And she just went,
yeah. Well, there's a lot of moments in the movie where he says the exact wrong thing no man should ever say, and her reaction is like, oh my god, what a great man. And like we put the quote here. This is the great part, because she says, "Are we gonna make love?" And he says, "Firstly, I don't make love. I fuck."
Boom.
Hard. Now, like. Yeah. Romeo,
yeah, that's how I proposed.
I nearly shit my pants at that part.
But all these moments where any sane person would go, I'm out.
Yeah.
I can't have a relationship based purely on a physical act, especially that around a dangerous thing. And no matter how many times he says, it's cool. You can say no. It's okay. It's like, run away. She does the opposite and goes, yeah, this is cool. I'm going to stick around. I'm going to see how this thing works out because I think I'm falling in love.
I wonder how many people have been murdered by serial killers because they wanted to relive this book's fantasy.
Yeah. You're right.
He might be the one.
Just straight up violent sadist probably made out really well in 2015.
Anyway, sorry, I'm trying to get us back on track.
Sorry.
We're doing a bad job right now of telling the story.
Well, the story's garbage. It's just people barely fucking.
I'm forgetting what happened because it's a series of conflicts of like, it's sort of like, I want to be your sub. No, I don't. Maybe I do. And he's like, you're the one. Even though he even admits he's had 15 of these.
Yeah.
Which is, even if he had one a month.
Her unending blandness has somehow reined him in. It's
it's the lip bite.
Yeah, she bites the lip, which is right out of Twilight. Something straight out of Twilight.
Isn't it? He kept smelling her too, right? Like, he'd catch a whiff of her and he'd go, oh.
I wish.
That was in Twilight, though.
In Twilight, it was the pheromone thing, which...
Wait, that was a thing?
Well, I thought she kept farting and he was going...
Yeah. That's what it looks like. I've only seen the riff tracks of Twilight.
Oh, yeah.
Very hard to... I started it, I remember just I can't do this. It's very
All right, so
hard
so then there's
plot.
40 minutes of them negotiating a contract, a couple more airplane rides.
There's a great line where she does say, what's a butt plug?
Oh, that was kind of funny. She meets his family after like 2 days,
which is great. Going back real quick when they're negotiating the contract, I think this is what makes Anastasia Anna the chosen one.
Just Anna. She keeps reminding him, Anna.
But he's always like, I'm Stasha. He gives that weird look.
This still.
Yeah. Yes, made up name in chat room. Good name that. She's the one. I guess he has an NDA and like a contract that he has with every woman because he's such a high profile guy.
Yeah.
And she's the first one to go, I want to discuss the contract. And he's like, you got it. And there's some real kind of eye opening things in there where she goes, first of all, anal fisting out, even vaginal out. And he's like, you're right.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. No, he caves pretty early, and he's like, yeah, oh yeah, that. Yeah. He's like a kid caught with his hand in the cookie jar, like, you got me.
You got me.
I was gonna try to shove my giant hand up your tiny ass and hope for the best. Like, okay, and then
no genital clamps.
Yeah, and even though she is supposedly a virgin, and she is still dumb enough to be like, what's a butt plug? It's like. That's like an onomatopoeia.
There's two
right
words.
There.
It was 2015. Everybody knows what a butt plug is.
Yeah, and she can Google it because
she didn't do her research. He told her to research.
He gave her a computer,
and she didn't search butt plug. Come on.
I feel like you just sort of grow up knowing what a butt plug. Anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is the movie's very unrealistic, and I didn't feel like I was lost in this world.
How old were you when you learned what a butt plug was?
Must have been in my late teens, early 20s, maybe.
Really?
I mean, as a kid, I guess I'm sort of pre-internet.
Yeah.
So, like, we had internet, but like the first thing you didn't search for was butt plug.
Well, I think it was on Joe Cartoon or something. There was a butt plug race flash game where you had to press it for the vibration and it would vibrate across the racetrack.
I remember being a kid and finding a dildo. I feel like if it sounds weird finding a dildo, but I remember, I think it was like a bunch of the grown-ups bought one as a joke because it was like not 5 foot, so it was like a 3 foot dildo. It was like a sword. So
life size.
Yeah, they bought it as a joke, Adam.
Well, the thing was, it was like sort of like discarded, like someone bought it for like a house party because like I said, this is a weird story. The way I grew up in kind of a weird, unconventional home where my parents divorced when I was young. This is a very personal story. No, it's fine. My mom and dad worked in a halfway house where there were fucked up kids coming in and out. My mom had a friend who also worked in a halfway house. Both my mom and her got divorces like right around the same time. I know what you're thinking. No, they weren't like Thelma and Louise or like lesbian runaways. My mom became a cop. Her roommate became a cop. But we'd have to always go every other weekend with my mom's roommate's family, who was always up in Palmdale and Lancaster. And they were a weird group of people.
Sketchy.
Yeah, kind of like a weird mix of like white trash and not. But it was like probably not the greatest place to like grow up. A lot of like sketchy stuff. But I just remember it was always us and a bunch of kids because it was like all the cousins and stuff who were up there.
Yeah.
And one day we found this like 2.5 foot, 3 foot long dildo, and I had never seen. I mean, I don't think I'd even seen like an uncut penis at that point, uncircumcised. This is a very eye-opening episode.
We all know.
That's fine. I know we all know at this point.
Was the 3 foot long dildo covered in chili?
No.
Okay.
It was just it was up in Palmdale, so it was just there's no grass anywhere. It's just dirt. So we just found it in the dirt. Like there's just garbage thrown back there. And I do remember, you know those pre lightsabers that you'd buy where like
you
it's
flip
like the
them
plastic
out.
flip it
Yeah.
out. I remember because the dildo was unsheathed, so it was like this big plastic like rubbery part, and then there was like the hard thing that that get it going. It's either I did or another kid put it on, and we were like putting it in people's faces.
Man,
So I discovered a dildo when I was maybe 12 or 13.
Okay.
I'm just saying. She should know what a butt plug is.
She should. Is that where we started?
Yes.
All right.
I'm just if someone said it's like that but for your butt, I could do the mental gymnastics as a 13-year-old and go, yeah, you got it.
No, like you said at the beginning, there's butt and plug. There's only 2 words to this. It's very easy to.
She even says dildos, yes.
Yeah.
And it's like
genital clamp. She had no problem with that.
I remember it took a while for my brain to process it because I was like, it plugs the butt.
But why?
Okay, I understand the words, but why would someone do that?
So she never signs the contract.
No.
But still multiple times lets him do
Dorian
all
said,
kinds.
fuck the contract at one point.
So he lets her do all. She lets him do all kinds of.
Well, we gotta talk about the playroom.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Getting ahead
it
of
was
myself.
full of furry butt plugs.
There were a few in there. I actually wanted to see. Now I want to see the sequel to see if it goes there.
Yeah, see if they dress up.
No.
They have the fox ears,
I don't think
fox
so.
tails.
I think they get tamer.
Well,
oh really?
That's what I've heard. I could be wrong.
I was telling Bones the way the film is paced. It's like a bad action movie, I mean, depending on how you feel about it, but like a Fast and the Furious or
The Foreigner.
I never saw it, but like a generic action movie where the script or they pre-plan all this stuff so far in advance that they go action beat, blah 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 blah, action beat. It's I guess like watching like a Donnie Yen movie where like it's like watching pornography. You're not there for the plot. It's very I feel like there's not a lot of good action movies with plot. There's not a lot of good porno with plot. There's definitely no good softcore porn with a plot, unless you count.
Well, just throwing it out there, I'm looking to change that. If anybody wants to make a porno with me, just hit me up
on Tinder.
On Tinder.
Look out for that new
I'll
profile,
be the guy
ladies.
who's taking his shirt off from the back.
Anyway, we've gotten through 2 acts of the movie. I think it might even be a 2-act movie. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because we thought we were starting the 3rd act, and it turned out to be just the montage that led to the end credits.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I just want to quickly take a break so we can thank our sponsor. This is forhims.com.
I'm curious about this. I never heard of this.
Hey, it's 2018.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll keep going.
Let him go. Yeah, shush. Eat your macaroni.
Well, I have a series of bullet points here. I'm not supposed to read it verbatim, which I will not. But I do want to sort of sell you on the service, Bones. Yeah. So we want you to work on your imperfections. You're soon to become a father.
I have no imperfections.
I have a question.
We want you to better yourself.
This hair, what's it going to look like a year from now? Is it all going to be there, Bones?
Yes, it will still be here.
Are you
really?
sure about that?
Throwing it out.
I don't know. Did you know that 66% of all men lose their hair by age 35? How old are you?
I'm 37. I'm looking pretty good.
Oh, boy, okay.
You are?
Well, anyway, we don't want you to be that guy.
No, talk to this guy.
So we want you to look good in 2018, 2019, even 2020.
Okay.
Which is going to be a good year.
I'm listening.
It's going to be all the 50 Shades movies will be out.
Yeah, how many more we got?
We're going to own the box set. We're going to be. It's going to be great. Bondage will be more acceptable by then. So we want you to take care of yourself.
Okay.
And we're going to do that. There's a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and sexual wellness for people like you, men, real men. Bones.
That's me.
Anyway, it's a medical-grade solution. There are real doctors offering well-known generic equivalents, by-name brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair.
Okay.
We want it. We want to keep the strong.
Yeah, I hope so.
Going.
What about this other sexual stuff?
We'll get there later.
Okay, sorry.
Like I said, there's been no better sponsor to
for this movie.
I hope it actually works for all three. We'll work it out. So anyway, there's no waiting room, no awkward doctor visits. You save hours by just going to forhims.com. That's FORHIMS.com. Link in the description. All you have to do is
Hims.
do it again.
Forhims.com.
That's perfect. You have a voice for radio.
Thank you.
I love it. All you have to do is answer a few questions, and the doctor will review and prescribe you. Totally easy. It comes directly to your door. You don't have to go up and go anywhere. That's why I love the internet. And I love these internet sponsors because it's stuff I use. It's fantastic. So anyway, I don't know how you guys feel, but like I hate going to the doctor.
I almost never do.
I went a lot
should.
and I hated it. And if I could just type into a machine, these are my problems, and they'll send me a thing.
Yeah.
I love it. So thank you for that. So I will tell you guys to please order now. All our listeners get a trial month of everything you need to keep your hair for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last. Please see the website for full details. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy, and we're trying to save you so many dollars. John, we're going to save your hair.
All right.
All of it.
Hey.
Head to toe, baby.
From
top to
the
bottom.
day I was born, I've been told you better get used to the idea of being bald.
You're looking good, though.
You're okay, but we're going to help you.
Have you been using For Hims already?
Maybe.
It's a solid answer. So please go to forhims.com/filmhouse. That's FORHIMS.com/filmhouse. Forhims/filmhouse. Get you some, please, guys.
All right.
And thank you for sponsoring this very sexy series of film podcastery.
On that note, I was promised CGI bush, and I saw none.
We saw Bush.
Where was the
male bush
Male
and
bush.
top dick?
No, we're talking. Yeah, top dick. We're talking about female bush. I read in the making of behind the scenes factoids that she wore a patch, and then they CG'd it in her bush.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't see no CG bush.
I was looking for it. I lost count. I want to say there's
Sorry to the
6.
audio listeners, I just burped in the microphone.
It's okay. It's like ASMR.
Yeah.
People love it. They don't. As an audio listener, I hate when people sound disgusting. So, but I still
Do we
love
have
it.
a whip?
No, not
No.
yet.
Okay.
Save it for episode 2.
I'm just saying, not to get you guys too excited. There's 2 more of these very special episodes. Hence the
better believe
curtain. We put like 5 more minutes into the making of this podcast. Audio listeners, I'm sorry you can't see it, but we're on a beautiful set.
I stood here and I watched that. I'm set up.
All right, let's be honest real quick. In the sex scenes, the craziest stuff is like he does tie her up, and at one point he hits her with like
ties her up
with a tie.
Right. He puts a blindfold on her, and he kind of like just taps at her, but like until the very end, nothing really that crazy happens.
We don't get a lot of answers. She keeps asking him like, "Why won't you let me touch you?" Like she just wants to touch me. He's like, "No, stop." And then, which obviously there's something there. I want to actually know this now. I'm intrigued because the movie ends on such a fuck you moment.
How dare they?
I know, but he's just trying to explain to her like, "No, you're just my toy. You're my thing." But God, I'm falling for you for no reason because I want women to project themselves onto you,
Yeah,
and
he
that
said
sells
that
books.
at some point. You're changing me.
Right.
He's like, I'm not trying to change you. You're changing me.
Which is what a psycho would say to keep someone around on a dependent relationship.
I'm not a human anymore.
Yeah. So they go back and forth, just like it's a whole relationship built on a physical thing, which is garbage. They have like I don't think there was even a moment they have anything in common. She's never like, what kind of movies do you like?
Yeah, they
nothing.
I'm pretty sure we saw all of their like dialogue. Yeah. Like they never really like jumped over things unless it was like the end of the sex scene to them like laying there. So we basically saw every word that they spoke to each other, and it was empty. There was nothing.
Right. There was no, like a lot of these romance movies or rom-coms, they'll have like a getting to know each other montage.
Yeah.
There's none of that. Like every word they spoke to each other, we saw on camera.
As cheesy as something like "You Had Me at Hello" is, I know, but at least there's a reason behind the line that
there was no hello.
This is
it was sit down.
Yeah, sit down, spank, bad girl. You want more? She doesn't say anything. Next scene.
Yeah,
it's just like
eating pancakes.
Everything's it's an excuse to get to the next moment. I wish there was a hot air balloon. I was begging for a hot air balloon.
Save it. It's going to be in the sequel.
Anyway, so I guess we kind of fast forward to the end. He gets even more creepy where she's like, I need to go see my family in Georgia. I need to go see my mom. And he like flips the fuck out. And he's like, you didn't tell me that. What? How? Why? And she's like, I gotta just really like grow the fuck up, dude. And he's like, oh, fine, you can go. And it's like, and then he like,
I give you permission.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, dude, like grow the fuck up, dude. It's just weird at this point. And so she goes there. And she's out drinking with her mom, and he texts her, and he's like, too many Cosmo, stop drinking. She's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and he fucking teleports.
Rightly so.
Yeah.
And then he just shows up, and the mom's like, I'll excuse myself. Like, no, you stay, because psycho killer boyfriend's sitting right there, and you're like, bye. Like, dear God. So he gets flustered. He's like, I got to go. There's something wrong at work. And you're like, so now as a viewer, we're like, what's going on? What is happening?
Wait, he has a job?
Yeah, it's very unclear if he actually works. He's like Patrick Bateman, where you're like, what do you do?
Every scene they showed him in work, he was sitting there brooding, and it would be other business people trying to explain
like actually
things
doing
to
stuff,
him.
yeah.
And he'd be like, well, I don't understand. Can you start over?
It's like a less charismatic version of Bruce Wayne when he's asleep in the meeting in the Dark Knight.
Spoiler alert, you never find out what his work issues were. He just tells her, it doesn't concern you.
Yeah.
Now go let me like punch you in the bedroom.
Well, then she says, okay, fine. Yeah. Let's go all in. You punish me as hard as you can. You take it out on me. And he's like, nice.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it back in the playroom.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, bend over, and I'm going to whip you 6 times, and you're going to count every time. She's like, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that's it. And then she gets up, and she's sort of like, fuck you.
She's like, that's the worst that you have?
Yeah.
Fuck you, you pussy.
Was that the problem?
No.
I was like, that kind of made more sense.
No, that would, but no, that's not the problem.
Oh, no. Okay, so he whips her bare ass. And then she's sort of like, now she's all of a sudden like a victim.
She's like, don't touch me.
Yeah.
I didn't consent to this.
Yeah. And I think Bones called it out perfectly. There's a part where the actor, like the character looks confused, but it's probably just the actor being like, is this the script?
It's like, what's going on?
No, yeah, it like the after the whipping scene, she seriously was acting as though like
something else happened entirely.
Yeah, she was like, let's do this, show me how bad it can get, and then he whipped her 6 times. She's like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. In his whole sex dungeon, you were noting there was like a furry butt plug where he could have rode her like a horse,
like a brony,
hooked her up like the Cell.
He had all these like wooden sticks and like he had so many things, and then he just whips her with a belt 6 times.
Yeah.
He's like, this is the worst it's ever gonna be.
I mean,
all this stuff is just for show. I don't even know what I'm doing.
He's like, I had the contractor come in and build a bunch of weird shit. It's more of a shock thing, you know. I can't think beyond tying you to a pole and maybe smacking your ass a little bit.
That was it.
I kind of suck.
Yeah.
I was just like, I mean, so goddamn tame. If you were looking for like new, fun, exciting things to do with a loved one, there are much better things you could do.
Yeah.
Just take them on the glider flight.
I guess.
Yeah.
I would rather do that. Let's all get a glider.
Oh shit,
that's a good idea. Well, the glider, by the way, looks like a experimental plane being pulled by another plane. Like, detach us. And then they detach.
Whee!
And John was saying, like, it would have been so much better if he was like threatening to crash the plane.
Sign the contract.
Do it. You're my sub. But she's just going, yay, yay, wee. I'm so glad you followed me, Georgia. You're kind of a stalker. Weird.
And if you couldn't tell, that was the end of the movie, which was she got whipped, and then she's like, "I'm out of here." And then it was like a 4-minute montage of them like being like, "Oh,"
just remembering what they
previous
did.
scenes from the movie,
which is the laziest thing you can do in a film.
And then hard cut to black.
Yeah.
Well, he's in his business meeting once again. Every Japanese business guy is being like, "Does he hear us? Can he fucking hear us?"
The stock is plummeting.
It crashed. Do you understand?
We're literally calling him by name. And he's staring off to the distance.
The African project is bankrupting us, and it's your fucking fault. And he's like, "Did I whip her too hard? I think I whipped her too hard." And he's just like, "Fucking hell! There's got to be something interesting going on." So then he just goes, "I'm out," and which he's just been doing the whole movie anyway. Hard cut to credits.
Yeah. What the fuck? But they left us hanging though. It worked because I want to know what happens in the next one.
God damn it!
It was honestly one of the most boring movies I've ever seen,
2 hours long,
including the sex scenes.
Yeah.
Still one of the most boring movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, I didn't feel good about it, but I want more.
Can't wait for the sequel.
Fun little factoid: Squall worked in a movie theater in 2015 when this movie came out.
We might have to bleep his name out. We'll see.
Oh yeah. Oh right.
Yeah.
But he said that they kept track and they would take bets on how many cucumbers they found in the movie theater.
Ugh.
And I asked him if he was joking, and he said, "No, that's a real thing.
Middle-aged ladies, there's real porn.
They would find cucumbers in the movie theater."
Still recording audio? Good.
Yes, we are still recording audio.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure that's all on tape. That's great. Anyway, I love your trash. Thank you. Author, what's her name?
R.L. Hughley.
E.B. White? Oh, no, that's... is that Winnie the Pooh?
Who cares?
It's in the tidbits.
Yeah.
Wait, go to the next page. Go to the next page.
This is the ad read.
Oh, go to the factoids.
Stop saying factoid.
Oh, E.L. James.
E.L. James.
Wait, can you read that one real quick?
Oh, so here's a little factoid for you. When writing the sex scenes, author E.L. James listened to a playlist that included Bruce Springsteen, the Black Eyed Peas, Frank Sinatra, Kings of Leon, and Britney Spears.
It's one of the sexiest compilation of artists I've ever heard before.
Best thing of the movie that come out, actually, in this, guys, if you're out there listening, take note. The soundtrack actually has a song from The Weeknd, and if Aphrodisiacs could be packaged in audio form, it would be The Weeknd.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
The ladies, my lady loves The Weeknd.
Noted.
Oh,
that's him.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say.
Every girl I've ever spoken to about The Weeknd kind of goes
like
Anastasia. Like Anastasia.
Anastasia.
When you look at her or breathe on her or do anything apparently.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for our beautiful review of.
We loved it.
Part 1 of 3. We're going to keep doing this wonderful special. The sponsors helping pay for this amazing set.
Yeah, thank you.
That's why we're doing it off-site.
Thank you, forhims.com.
Here in Iceland. This is really cool. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for joining me. John, I think you made up for last week where everyone said you didn't contribute anything to the podcast.
Who said that?
Me. We listen to feedback, and I think this is a good route to go.
Yeah.
I love you guys being on the show. I think, Bones, John, you have great opinions on films. I think we have to keep it hyper-focused on one thing. And I think this is a good test to do this whole trilogy. We're going to power through. Valentine's Day. We will be there for you.
Oh, I get it now.
Now you know why we did this? It might be a little after Valentine's Day. I don't think the math really worked out. It'll be up by President's Day. It's fine. Yeah. Which I'm sure Lincoln got it on.
Yeah.
At least once.
Definitely.
He's like, Mary Todd.
She was just like...
and he's like, count to 6.
Oh. Poor Mary Todd.
Thank you guys for being with me.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. Please tell a friend if this is the kind of show you want to enjoy. Just a couple guys just talking about fun stuff. Sometimes there's a female.
Couple of guys just talking about female orgasms.
You know,
what's up?
And thank you very much to forhims.com.
Thank you.
Please check out our sponsor. Without them, we couldn't have all the food that way before us, the great films, and the great set. And all this hair.
Maybe not cream sauce next time, guys.
What? Oh. The cream sauce?
I don't know.
You know why I got the cream sauce.
I know.
Listen to The Weeknd and you'll find out.
Oof.
Anyway.
Yikes.
Hey, ladies.
Yeah, he did it!
Steer clear of me on bad news.
Now crawl into bed like a tiger.
We'll see you in the playroom.
We're doing a 2017 retrospective because the Oscar noms are out. Not that we care about. We've hammered this to death. We don't care about awards, but
I care a little. I care a little bit.
You really care about the celebrities.
I like to find out what people are doing and thinking and why, but I don't necessarily care about what they nominate.
What I will never care